on the interwebs. Somebody want to drop that on the Facebook since I don't have Facebook open? Say, we live.
I only like the channel.
Bum, bum, bum. But welcome to another week, or I guess it's another weekly show of the Geek EZ Live. We're one hand short. I'm keeping with the pirate theme. R. We be down one man. As Alistair convalesces. I always hated that word.
Which word?
Convalesce. It just sounds weird.
It is a weird word, yes.
It's an odd word.
You're an odd word.
You're an odd word?
Yeah.
Your face is an odd word.
Okay, well.
Wow, we've really channeled the burrito on that one.
Yes, we really did. Let's see.
That's what happened.
What are we going to do?
10 years of knowing him.
We're going to do the opening credit thingy there with the disclaimer and letting people know that we say bad things. No, we really don't. We try not to. But again, things slip out, things are said. And sometimes we scrape the gutter and go right for the sewage plant. But we'll be right back after this.
The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. The opinions expressed do not reflect this station or any affiliated partners. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek EZ.
That's weird. It says we're not connected, but you are connected.
Connected.
Oh, no, the Twitch thing just popped up real quick. The Twitch chat on the screen. But
it lies.
It does lie. We are live. Not a lot of stuff happening. There's one big announcement this week. One big thing that happened yesterday. That was Marvel's release of the Captain Marvel trailer, which Tank has not seen because Tank avoids trailers.
Though by your own reaction, it didn't seem to be all that impressive.
It so did not blow up my kilt. I was whelmed.
I am merely whelmed.
I was merely whelmed.
I can't wait.
To be perfectly honest, she's just not who I envision when I read the Captain Marvel books.
I don't know. I think from a overall posture and look, I think she kind of fits.
As a young version, I would say yes. But
especially
honestly,
considering when you're looking at the more recent Captain Marvels versus, previous ones, and obviously Warbird.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sorry, I'm pandering, I'm bandwagoning here, but I still think Katie Sackhoff would have been a fantastic option. That's who I envision.
I envision Starbuck. I envision. Yep. No offense to Allison. It's Allison Brie, right?
Mm-hmm.
No offense to her, but Brie Larson. That's it. Brie Larson. She doesn't have the commanding presence that the character needs.
Well, here's the problem with that, though. She doesn't really have that kind of commanding presence in the comics these days. I mean, when she's actually around the people that she's commanding, oh yeah, she definitely can put it out and have that presence. But the more recent ones, she doesn't have that. She's just kind of conflicted.
The Civil War version. Yeah, she's conflicted, but there's she's just too nice from what I mean, aside from punching the old lady in the face, but you didn't see the trailer, but she punches an old lady in the face, but we all know that it's not an old lady, but I don't know. It just didn't. I think I feel the way about her as I did that most people felt about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And it's not that she's not big enough, she doesn't have the build, she just doesn't have the personality from what I saw in the trailer, it's not Captain Marvel as I see Captain Marvel in the books, or I hear in my head. To be perfectly, I can't remember the actress's name. She was on Glee. She was in Wreck-It Ralph. Who's that actress? What is the actress's name?
I do not know.
Blonde, short hair, comedian, funny, very witty, abrupt, has no
I know who you're
filter.
talking about.
That's who not her in general, but that sort of attitude. Almost like Nick Fury if Nick Fury was a woman.
Well, based off of just the trailer, you really can't make
I know.
determinations because we've seen that before where people did it with, with Gal Gadot. And then when Wonder Woman came out, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and then, I'll probably be the same way when I see Captain Marvel.
To me, I will agree with you. The trailer made it look like she had way too much uncertainty.
Yes.
Like, kind of weak, I guess is the best way to put it. And that's the one thing Captain Marvel is not. But, keep in mind, this is an origin story. So everyone, when they first get powers or whatever in the comic books, are like, whoa, what is this? I don't know what I'm doing. What do I do with this? They're all always uncertain. So, we got to think like that, too.
True.
But at the same time, you don't put that in the trailer, I don't think.
When it comes to Marvel's casting, though, there must have been something in her casting when she read for the role that caught the attention of those in charge. Because when you look at the cast, it's like when Robert Downey Jr. was cast as Tony Stark way back in 2006 or whatever it was when they started filming Iron Man. That was just like a no-brainer. That was like, oh my god, that is perfect. It really was. And then Chris Evans is Captain America.
Yep.
And it's like, it was just, Chris Hemsworth, it took him a while to finally find Thor, but when he found Thor, it was there. Because it's really hard to watch the first Thor. It really is.
They have yet, unless I'm forgetting someone, but in my opinion, they have yet to find... I've yet to find a single casting decision that was wrong in Marvel's movies.
In
my opinion, but
I think you're probably right. They've been pretty spot on, and I actually think they did better. It's like Ed Norton might be the one that was kind of like, because while he looks like Banner from the books, I think, now I can't remember his name. Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo. I think Mark Ruffalo does a better job in the role. He doesn't look like Banner,
but that's only a hindsight thing. Norton could have stayed as the Hulk, and nobody would have ever complained about it.
True. Well, his Hulk, I honestly like Ruffalo's Hulk better. I think Ruffalo looks like the Hulk. He looks more like the Hulk than Norton did.
Yeah.
Norton's Hulk just kind of, he was just too sharp looking. Whereas Ruffalo's Hulk, because they modeled after Ruffalo's face, just looks more like the Hulk. I don't know. But yeah, even then, yeah, I guess they've been pretty spot on. You know what? Talking about this, because comic book movies are still huge. I really thought we would have somewhere seen it start to wane, but it's not, which is amazing. We're talking 8 years now, 10 years now, 10 years of comic book films, whether it's Marvel, DC, or any of them. Marvel's, it is, monstrous amount. When you think about how many Marvel films there's 20 Marvel films. That's a lot of movies. And then DC's up to what, 6? Plus we got 2 more coming out in the next 6 months, 7 months.
Man.
But when DC, now Marvel has been consistent. They've stayed the course with their casting and everything overlapping, even though Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that kind of thing and the Netflix shows are but aren't kind of in that same universe. DC has done their own thing where their TV universe is separate from their movie universe, and now their movie universe is expanding even more into an Elseworlds kind of thing where They're getting other actors to play characters, and a lot of people are flipping out about this. It's like we have a Joker movie coming up that we really don't need. But when I saw the
and why is his name Arthur Fleck? Affleck.
Yes, but I don't know that. I don't know why they did that. But the photograph I saw of Joaquin Phoenix, right? That's his name, yes. It blew my mind. I was like, oh wow! In the right makeup, he really could be the Joker. I was like, holy cow! Much more than Dingleberry over there from Suicide Squad.
But
so I was like,
was not cast to reprise the role.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, and then I started reading people flipping out. It's like, why are they recasting everything? Why are they keep getting? Think about comic books. They have different artists working on different books, portraying characters in different ways. DC is kind of doing that in their live action. They're giving a role to a different actor, a different artist, to put their spin on it. It's like we've had some great Batman artists out there. We've had Norm Brayfogle. We've had Neil Adams. We've had, trying to think, Todd McFarlane drew Batman for a while. I mean,
Jim Lee.
Oh yeah, Jim Lee's Batman that's Affleck's Batman. Is Jim Lee's Batman. So we've had a lot of really great artists portray the same exact character in multiple ways. Batman never looks the same depending on the artist who's drawing them. The Joker never looks the same. And that's kind of what DC is doing with their TV and stuff. Like, I mean, the TV shows are more webbed together, but their movie stuff, they're just kind of branching out. Which is, I mean, it's kind of like their animation stuff too. It's like same characters, different voice actors. They do have their core actors that they use for certain things. It's like Superman is what's his name? Greg Newburn, something Newburn. Joker is Mark Hamill. Batman is, somebody help me with his name because Kevin Conroy. And they do use them. I mean, they're on the new Justice League show, and they do use them for some of their animated films. But other times, they have other actors portraying those roles, and it works just fine. It's like, okay, and Bruce Greenwood is Batman when they do their new universe, new 52 universe films, which they still keep doing. And
wasn't Tim Daly Superman for a long time?
Tim Daly was Superman on the TV show, on the actual Adventures of Superman, whereas Newburn took it over for Justice League.
Yeah, I thought Tim Daly did that too.
He might have done the first season, but he didn't do the rest of it. But either way, I mean, it's with Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker outside of a Batman universe kind of thing, because I guess Batman's not even in the film. And what's really funny is when I saw the photo of Joaquin Phoenix, I was like, wow, that could be Ben Affleck's Joker. Very much so. So there was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I mean, I don't know. We're going to see. I mean, if they really want to go their own route and tell their own stories, copying Marvel is not the way to do it. Even though a lot of people want them to do that and have a cohesive universe and everything's all together, they've tried, and it's been hit and miss. So we'll see what happens.
It's because their execution's hit or miss.
I don't mind Jared Leto as the Joker. I thought he got the short end of the stick in the way the movie was cut.
Yes.
And, of course, his off-screen behavior apparently was awful.
Yeah, he would... I can't remember the full story, but something about a dead mouse. He kept putting a dead mouse in other people's trailers and stuff like that.
Oh, Heath Ledger supposedly did the same kind of thing. He stayed in character throughout the filming of The Dark Knight. And Danny DeVito did it with the Penguin.
Yeah, but that's Danny DeVito. I mean...
He's already pretty much the Penguin anyways.
Exactly.
I don't think he was in that as much a character, though, because when he said when he was wearing the costume, it was amazingly uncomfortable, and it made it real easy to be in character then.
Yes.
So he wasn't obviously in costume the entire time. And
Firefly brings up a good point about the James Bond films. We've accepted how many different James Bonds at this point?
Many.
And
it depends on which movies you count.
That's true, and it all depends on whether or not what you consider accepting it. Because I don't accept Timothy Dalton as James Bond. I don't think his movies exist. They're so bad.
Well, that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Peter Sellers Bond movie.
Not Peter Sellers. The Woody Allen one, right?
That's Peter Sellers also.
Was he in that?
I don't recall Peter Sellers ever doing Bond.
Yeah, he did they did Casino Royale.
I didn't
And
realize he
there's
was
like
Peter
four
Sellers.
Bonds and there's 4 Bonds in that movie.
Wasn't David Niven the original though?
Yeah, and then Woody Allen is his nephew Jimmy Bond. Peter Sellers is the card shark they recruit to play Bond, and then there's another guy that's like in the first 30 seconds of the movie that was David Niven's replacement.
I have not seen that film in like 20 years, so. Which makes me sound so old because I would have been 25. Oh, here, you want to? Speaking of feeling old, my daughter's first grade teacher is young enough to be my daughter. They were learning about 9/11 in class, and my daughter came home and said, "Yeah, my teacher was only 10 when it happened." I was like, "I was 28." It's like, oh Lord. But back to just the old thing kind of scares me sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I can accept other characters and roles. The one I'm gonna have a hard time swallowing is the new Doctor Who. She really has to sell me, and it's not because it's a woman. It's just they have to sell me on the premise of Doctor Who becoming a woman.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how they take it.
I'm just hoping this isn't just a gimmick.
I don't think it will be.
Well, that trailer was a gimmick.
They've laid the groundwork for it before, talking about how some of the other Time Lords would switch sexes and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the mistress and all that.
Well, it's the fact that it broke the... well, I say break it, but it goes past the quote-unquote limit.
No, he got regenerations back.
Well, there was never actually confirmed that he could regenerate after a certain number, like 13, and this goes past it. There was a specific number that they said that he can only do up to this many points, and then it's like, well, maybe no. They hemmed and hawed and never really confirmed or denied, and well, here we are.
Maybe that will be written into why there is a gender change.
Yeah, you don't want to go past number 13? Why? Well, you'll be different. You'll look like Tate.
Well, no, didn't River give her regenerations to the Doctor?
No, she gave energy to the Doctor to heal him. She did. Her regenerations are gone, yes, but she didn't.
But that would imply that he may have gained the regenerations.
Technically, though, doesn't one of his regenerations not count?
No, the Time Lords gave him his regenerations, a whole new cycle of regenerations, and in the last episode of Matt Smith.
But the Tennant one, didn't he regenerate as himself?
Halfway. He used a little bit of regeneration of energy.
Okay, but we still accept it. But again, that's written into the character.
Yeah.
Whereas James Bond, it's not written into the character. It's just, how do we keep this going? We can't have Sean Connery at the age of 90 years old playing James Bond, but...
And they kind of broke it when...
I would pay to see that.
When they kind of broke it when they introduced the War Doctor as well. It's like, oh, well, there's the regeneration right there. They already broke the limit.
Kinda. Because... it's a weird one because he forgot about
it. It's all timey-wimey.
Yeah. No, he forgot that he did. He locked it away.
I kind of like the War Doctor.
That was a good I don't know if it was a movie or a episode, but that was fantastic. It
was fantastic, and I liked the War Doctor just because. Well, when you got Matt Smith and David Tennant who play the character so tongue-in-cheek and they don't take themselves so seriously, And then all of a sudden you have like this Han Solo character come into the role. And it was just like, oh, he was a breath of fresh air when it came to that because he was so different than those two.
It also made sense, as I understand it, because what came after was Voldemort. I can't think of the guy's name.
Who?
He played Voldemort.
Ray Fiennes?
Yeah, he's the doctor that came after the War Doc.
Ray
Fiennes was never the Doctor.
I thought
Eccleston
he was.
the Doctor. No, Destro Eccleston was the Doctor after the War Doctor.
Yep.
And before that, I can never remember that actor's name. He only played the Doctor for like 3 seasons.
Eccleston was only for a season.
I know Eccleston was only for a season, and it's and he came and left. But the guy before Eccleston, before they rebooted this series,
technically the guy before Eccleston was only in a TV movie.
Really? And of course, there's Peter Cushing, but his Doctor Who doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy before Eccleston was from that failed Fox TV movie thing where they were going to possibly make an American Doctor Who series.
Which I'm glad they didn't.
But he is an official Doctor because he appeared. He's in a lot of the radio dramas that they've done and some of the books and stuff.
Well, they couldn't do an American version because we don't have police boxes. We have little things hanging on telephone poles that you pull a switch. I don't see that being something you can climb into.
It was still going to be about the British Doctor. It was just going to be an American-produced series on Fox, but the movie bombed.
Mm.
It's just not our thing.
Yeah. But I don't know. There were rumors that Oscar Isaacs is actually playing Bruce Wayne / Batman. But I'm like, well, he's kind of short, but...
That hasn't stopped Tom Cruise from portraying a character that is actually like over 6 feet tall.
True.
Crap, I can't think of the name of the series now.
Interview with that vampire?
No.
He'd have to bulk up a lot, though.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Reacher.
Ah.
Yeah, Jack Reacher's actually a really big dude. Tom Cruise is not at all.
Cruise always plays taller than he really is.
Camera tricks.
It's amazing what you can do with a camera trick.
Well, then I guess he's also, self-conscious about it.
Apple boxes. Standing on apple boxes. For those who don't know, an apple box is an actual thing in movie making. It is a box that is a specific height. You have full boxes, half boxes, quarter boxes, but they're all of a specific height and depth. They're used for camera rigging and stuff like that. And yes, Tom Cruise has stood on apple boxes.
He also broke himself.
Broke himself?
Yeah, in the latest...
oh, yes. Smashed his leg. But...
practically obliterated his ankle or something?
Yeah, and then Jackie Chan looked over and goes, bitch, please. I broke my neck and then asked if they got the shot.
The show
Maybe
must go
Jackie
on.
should play Batman.
I think Jackie's had enough.
What is he, like 75 years old?
He's going up there, yeah.
Well, you know what? I can't say that because Jackie Chan doesn't look his age. And then there's Sly Stallone, who's bulking up to play Rambo yet one more time, posted a video of himself on Instagram or whatever it is, in the gym.
Yeah,
the dude is 73 years old, and he's like benching monstrous amount of weight.
And he's probably also single-handedly responsible for a steroid shortage wherever he is.
Either way, I mean, the dude's fit.
I just wish he didn't do another Rambo. It was done. Leave him alone.
That was a perfect way to end it.
Why do so many people want Jake Gyllenhaal to be Batman?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I just can't believe they got Schwarzenegger to come back for another Terminator film.
Are they actually doing
He
one?
he was supposed to be in the new Predator movie, but he hated the script.
Yeah. Which, yeah, don't go see that movie.
Yeah, it was bad.
Everything I've read about it is awful.
So bad.
I've seen some people actually say they'd rather like it.
It
Dude,
was
okay.
It was 90s corny, but even for 90s corny, it was terrible.
Can I spoil this movie here on the air?
I don't care.
You don't care? Wolfie, do you mind if I spoil this film?
Not at all.
All
I
right.
read so many spoiler articles on it this
Okay.
weekend.
Here we go. The film's premise is there's a genetic thing. The predators realize that the human race will probably end within the next couple of decades because of all the damage we've done to our planet. And boy, did they just pound that into the film because, wow, the whole environmental side of it. So they're genetically sampling humans and stuff like that because we are one of their prey. They come hunt us, and they don't want to lose something they hunt. There is a rogue predator who breaks free, is getting chased, ends up on Earth with this thing that can help mankind fight the predators. It's an anti-predator predator is what it is. Okay, so he's bringing this technology to us. He crash lands on Earth. What is the first thing this predator who is here to help us do? Slaughters like 75 guys.
Oh, sorry, guys, sorry.
Exactly.
Force habit.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's like the first thing he does. They get him, and then he kills everybody. I'm like, wait a second, didn't this dude come to help us? Yet he's killing everybody inside. That's the dumbest premise I've ever seen. And
not very good at the helping.
Yeah, it was that right there. I was like, wait a second, because when they reveal, oh well, he was here to help us and give us this thing. I was like, then why the hell did he kill everybody?
It was just an automatic reaction.
Literally.
Automatic reaction. I've landed on planet Earth. I will do what I can to help. What's that? Oh my god, it's an orange Cheeto. I must murder everything.
Wait. And then there's Olivia Munn. Ladies and gentlemen, if you think Rey from Star Wars is a Mary Sue, you haven't seen Olivia Munn's character from The Predator. Because, yeah.
Let's see, we got Firefly commenting. First of all, I don't know how you pronounce that, aren't a world-ending threat.
I don't know. The whole movie was just... Schwarzenegger could not have saved that film. There was so much
he would have
wrong.
only been in the ending anyways.
Yeah, but there was... I mean,
it was supposed to be him in the pod.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. It's like, God, I hope it's him.
That's why the pod is shaped like a person, and when it first opens, it looks like there's a head. Then all of a sudden, there's a cut, and it's a armband thing.
Yeah, either way, the Predators the ending of Predators that I always thought would have worked best would have been Dutch landing on that planet and turning to Adrian Brody and that chick and go, okay, now how the hell do we get out of here? That would have been like the perfect ending. And they could have ended the series right there, not brought it back for this one because, wow. Shane Black is going to go down in history. He's going to be like the next U-Bowl. His films are just progressively getting worse. But yeah, I'm sorry if I spoiled it and you wanted to see The Predator. It was just a bad film. Don't go see it.
It was a waste of money, to be honest.
The action, I mean, first off, everything's in the dark. Everything. It's like all these action scenes, it's like, it's in the dark, can't see nothing. In the dark. Predator dogs. Enough said.
You made a vampire Pomeranian?
Oh, the environment, Firefly, the environmental angle wasn't just unneeded. It was so ham-fisted. it wasn't even funny. It was like Al Gore wrote the first half of that script.
Ham fists.
Focus, Wolfie, focus.
Sorry, I went Homer Simpson there for a minute.
Stupid flounders. But,
Arr.
oh, don't. I'm all punned out.
Doesn't hook you anymore, huh?
No. I just don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to these puns anymore. It is International Talk Like a Pirate Day, I guess. I prefer International Talk Like William Shatner Day, which is coming up. But
This is kind of entertaining. With the rise of self-driving vehicles these days, it's only a matter of time before there's a country song where the guy's truck leaves him too.
Speaking of self-driving vehicles, you know what I watched on Netflix today while eating my lunch? I took a break from working and I put on Netflix, and The Sixth Day is on there. Boy, is that movie dated.
Is that Arnold movie?
Yes, it's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that's supposedly set in the near future. They don't exactly give you a when. It's about cloning. But the film starts with an XFL game.
That's dated.
Yeah, instantly dated. So bad. I will say, I do
Well,
like
it might not be that dated. The XFL is coming back.
Yeah.
There's so much in the film. There's so much in the film that just like, nope. But what else were we talking about off the air that we can talk about on the air? Oh, well, let's see. We're 31 minutes into it. Wolfie, you want to tackle that Discovery thing that's driving you crazy?
Okay, I've been rewatching Discovery the last couple of days, and I made a note of this the first like 2 times I watched it through, but it's bugging me more and more. How do they not have a computer that can hold all the coordinates for where they want to go with the spore drive? My computer could hold all the coordinates for where they want to go with the spore drive.
1.21 terabytes!
I mean, they talk about needing a supercomputer. The whole point of the computers on these ships is that they are supercomputers.
It's the amount of things to process in the amount of time. Your computer couldn't do that. Mine certainly couldn't.
Data could.
Yeah, Data could.
Actually, technically speaking, we've got computers nowadays that are faster than him.
Skynet.
Dun, 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 dun. Either way, I think Wolfie's onto something there. He's right, though.
But in that case, putting Stamets in there wouldn't work because humans can't think as fast as computers we have now.
We might not be able to think as fast, but we can process more, can't we?
There's currently no better computer still than the human brain. We just
process things.
We just don't literally have the means to consciously process them,
But he's right when you really think about, because it's just navigation, right? It's just a different
the way they
form.
talk about it, it's just supposed to be holding the coordinates or whatever.
Yeah, but you're looking at coordinates that are on an X, Y, and Z axis, so you got to take all that into account.
But you would have to do the same thing if you're traveling through warp.
Well, yeah, but you're also cutting out pretty much the distance between point A and point B.
True.
So you have to lock in. I can see what they're getting at there. The spot that you want to appear at. And the whole premise of the spore drive is stupid, in my opinion. But
since it appears instantaneously, it seems like it would require less computational power to hold the coordinates because you don't have to hold all the coordinates between A and Z. You just go straight from A to Z.
I'm sure there's some quantum explanation.
But with warp drive, you have to know everything because you've got to avoid gravitational bodies and all of that.
Tardigrades.
I still love Discovery. It just I was watching that last night and they were talking about the supercomputer thing and it just really bugged me. Speaking of Star Trek, I guess I'll give my top 5 Star Trek movies.
Well, since we started the top 5 thing, yes, last week, sure, go ahead.
Well, of course, number 1 I have Wrath of Khan. Number 2 is First Contact. Number 3 would have to be The Forbidden Planet. 4 would be Undiscovered Country, and 5 would be Galaxy Quest. And those are my top 5 Star Trek movies.
Forbidden Planet.
It's the greatest Star Trek episode that never was. I do consider Forbidden Planet to be a Star Trek episode.
Galaxy Quest isn't officially Star Trek either, but it's still made my list.
Yeah, and it is better than a lot of the other Star Trek films. Why is this even on the ship? Because it was in the script.
This was poorly written. Let's see, we got Firefly here. That's the idea of a Predator movie where the problem is a bad blood rogue Predator and the equivalent of U.S. Marshals who've come to bring them in.
It's kind of what I thought this movie was going to be. Turned out not to be.
It was not to be.
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of upset. But you'll win some, you lose some. Bring on Aquaman. And the Grinch.
I honestly thought there
Do
was
we
more...
really need another Grinch thing?
Yes, but it's got Benedine Grumblepatch as the Grinch. And it's done by the guys who did it from Illumination, and I love the Minions.
So are we going to talk about Sony bandwagoning?
Sure, go ahead.
Sony has announced the PlayStation Classic, which is a mini PlayStation with 20 classic PS1 games on it.
That no one can name.
I still have my PS1.
Can you name 20 classic games?
At least 3 of them involve Street Fighter. Brave Fencer Musashi.
Final Fantasy VII. Probably one of the Ridge Racer games. Jumping Flash, I'd assume, would be
Was
on
Tekken
there.
on the PlayStation?
Yeah,
Yes.
probably Tekken 3 if they're going to pick one of those.
Let's see, another one would
Crash
be...
Bandicoot, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
I forgot about those two. Yeah, okay. Crash was a good one.
Time Crisis.
Maybe
Yep,
Gran
Tom
Turismo.
Gran Turismo... Maybe. I know it's definitely a PlayStation 2 classic,
And this
though.
is PlayStation, so you probably have to include a Madden game.
Here's a PlayStation that doesn't know what it is.
Although I'm not gonna lie, I'd rather have Final Fantasy 9 than 7.
They need to get
I'd
they
rather
need
have
to
8.
get Frank Caliendo to do commercials for it. And you take it and you plug it in and bam, there it is.
You can pick it up at your local Ace Hardware. And only Ace Hardware will carry it.
I think unfortunately that would go over so many people's heads.
Would Caliendo does such a great Madden, though.
He's a better Madden than Madden himself.
Yes. He thinks I sound alike. What? This is a really good George Bush, too.
Oh, and maybe a Spyro game.
Yeah, that was pretty popular back in the day. But yeah,
Who just
Brave Fencer
posted that
Musashi,
Air
definitely
Force
one.
thing?
I did.
It reminds me of the naval officers having to be transported to Fort Jefferson. It means the Army had to save the Navy from water.
And maybe one of the forgotten PlayStation classics like Legacy of Kain or Ape Escape.
There's one other thing about with the combat with cars. I can't think of the name of it though.
Twisted Metal.
Ah, that's it. Thanks.
Was that? I thought that was PlayStation 2.
No, it got its start on PS1.
Okay.
Pretty much all the major PlayStation series for that, like a lot of them from back then. I mean, I guess you include maybe
Siphon
a Resident.
Filter?
Yeah, maybe, or Silent Hill or Resident Evil or something.
Metal
They
Gear.
didn't actually list the ones that are going to be on it. They just said 20 classic games.
Some of them have been listed, but I don't think all the details have been finalized yet.
Yeah, they're waiting for Nintendo to sue them.
Why?
Because that was Nintendo's idea.
There's a Sega Mini too.
Yeah, there's been mini Segas like way back in the past, even.
Yeah,
They're not going to sue for that. It's not proprietary to miniaturize something.
That's true, especially nowadays with solid states and flash drives and all that kind of stuff, where you can squeeze so much information onto them.
Well, the minis for SNES and NES have certainly done well. I would love to have.
Oh, it's not NES. It's NES. According to Nintendo, it is just NES.
Nope, it's NES.
I've always kind of used them both interchangeably.
I've always said NES, but they said it's pronounced NES.
Yeah, just like the guy says it's GIF.
I say SNES a lot more than I say SNES.
Now we got to get a 64 classic.
Why? It's already miniaturized. And, unbreakable, apparently.
What, the N64?
Yeah.
Some of the greatest games are on that.
Or am I thinking the Cube?
The Cube is the small one.
I don't think I knew anybody who had the Cube. Wasn't that their first foray into CDs?
Yeah.
They gave up the cartridge after the 64.
Now it's back on the Switch.
Yes, but it's more of a SD card at this point. They're so small.
It's a flavored SD card.
Oh, dear Lord. So small.
I mean, they were still doing carts on portable systems.
Yeah. The Game Boy Classic, now 1.5 inches big, has every game ever made for the Game Boy.
Yeah, but you still can't see it.
Now, I always wondered why they stopped making the what's the stupid thing? The handheld one. What's the Nintendo's handheld version now?
They've got the Game Boy, then it was the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, the DS, and the 3DS.
Okay, it's the DS, because the DS, I'm trying to remember which one it was, played Game Boy cartridges.
Yeah, it
did. They stopped that.
Yeah, because the hardware shifted and they didn't have space for it anymore.
Because my son had one until it broke, and he was all upset because we had all these Game Boy games laying around that he couldn't play anymore. I was like, sorry, bud. Don't know what to tell you. Yeah, we still have a DS laying around here somewhere.
I've got a bunch of Game Boy Advances floating around somewhere. I'm not sure I have a working DS at the moment, but I have a 3DS, so I mean I can play DS games on that.
I think we need a Game Boy Advance throwback. Speaking of Game Boy and Advance, Nintendo announced, and I know most people don't care, but I'm excited. They announced that they re-trademarked Golden Sun.
What was Golden Sun?
It was a Game Boy Advance game that had two. There are two games on the Game Boy Advance, which was an RPG turn-based, and then they had one on the DS.
You had rocket-propelled grenades?
Yes.
Awesome. My DS doesn't have rocket-propelled grenades.
But it is my favorite favorite franchise. And Netflix has announced a live-action Avatar: The Airbender series.
Yes, that worked so well the last time.
Yeah, but that was M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan.
I promise there won't be a twist this time.
I don't know. Netflix seems to be hurting.
Why is that?
Some of their original. I mean, I was just on there today going through. And I was like, there's nothing good on here anymore. There really isn't. It was just like, where's all the movies? Where's all the good stuff? And it's like, oh yeah, okay, I own all this. I don't need to watch it on Netflix.
Well, the problem is so many of these companies are coming up with their own streaming services and everything.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
hey.
And I also don't think many people realize just how many movies Disney controls.
True.
Oh, the movies.
Telling you, if we don't get the Fox fanfare in front of Star Wars, and we'd be very upset.
We're probably not going to get it.
I know. Speaking of that, my kids were listening to music today through, I have music from my iTunes on Plex, which they can access through the TV. I only have certain albums that they can get on there because they don't need to be listening to like Marilyn Manson and stuff. But they did actually, because my daughter, they were flipping through and I have a whole bunch of Disney stuff on there. And one of them is Nightmare Revisited, where they have bands doing songs from Nightmare Before Christmas. And the first one is This Is Halloween by Marilyn Manson. So they put it on and I went, oh wait, you got to listen to the next one. And my daughter's like, no, let this one finish. I was like, you really want to listen to Marilyn Manson? She goes, yeah, this is a good song. It's like, okay.
Yeah, his version of that is actually really good.
It is really good. It's much better than what is it? What's the next one? Jack's Lament is done by crap. Now I can't remember. This is not as good.
Now, there's a guy who wanted to be the next Alice Cooper, and his act did not age nearly as well as Alice's has.
No. Alice Cooper. Feed my Frankenstein. Hoi! Where are we at? Oh. Who made the decision at Hanna-Barbera that using the Food Network chefs was a good idea for a cartoon?
Wait, what?
You haven't seen the newest Scooby-Doo film direct-to-video release has Giada. Who else is there? Bobby Flay. I'm pretty sure Guy Fieri's on it. There's a bunch of them, and it's Bobby Flay just happens to be Fred's uncle.
Yeah, well, they've done questionable ones before.
Yeah, but that now means that Giada and Bobby Flay exist in the same universe as Batman.
So it's apparently Supernatural.
True.
And the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah. I just found it funny that they actually drew Giada's boob and cleavages. Like, she comes out and it's just like, hey, look, Giada boobs.
Huh?
Have you never watched an episode of Giada's show? No. Pretty sure that the average viewer age and fan base of that show are males between the ages of 14 and 21.
I'm really, really focused.
Oh, yeah. So is that camera, right from the collarbone to her navel. That's where she's cooking.
She has a weird forehead.
Got a lot of teeth, too. She smiles and every single tooth is seen. Not to say that her food doesn't look amazing, and I bet you it's absolutely delicious, but yeah, she is. The sex appeal of her show is very much there. Sounds so sexist of me. I know it does, but
I'm not sure, Firefly, with your question, do they rate as interdictor field worthy? I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Because unfortunately, when you type stuff out to us, we might have slipped past what you were getting at. So you'll have to give us reference. Was that in regards to the chefs and the Scooby-Doo thing? Well, we'll wait for his response.
I think she's asking, are her boobs gravity wells?
As in, are they large and round enough to draw things to them? Well, apparently it does the camera. Or at least that's what we're being told.
What's really funny is the artist at least kind of got Bobby Flay's look right. The animation version of Giada looks nothing like Giada.
Maybe that's what she signed off on?
I will admit she doesn't look 48 years old.
No. It's amazing what personal trainers do.
It's amazing the things you can get done when you don't have to actually work in a regular hard job. You can focus on doing things like, I don't know, working out ridiculously amounts.
Well, here's one for you. Speaking of aging well, do you know that Bill Clinton and Sammy Hagar are the same age?
So which one's aging better?
I would say Sammy Hagar.
Well, that's because look at what the presidency does to people.
Yeah, everybody turns gray in the presidency, unless you're wearing fake hair.
It really ages people, like, big time.
That makes you wonder why anybody would want the job. It really ages you. Sometimes you just drop dead. Oh, was it too soon for a JFK joke? Firefly, which Bill? POTUS or the one with the Funkadelic?
That's George Clinton.
Oh, that Bill.
Doesn't Bill have a brother named George?
Maybe?
Or like a half brother or something?
But he's not on the P-Funk.
Wait, maybe it's Roger Clinton. I can't remember.
Trying to think. Oh, what else? Oh, yeah, DBZ Abridged, episode 60, part 3 was fantastic. Almost 30 minutes long.
Oh,
it's not really abridged, isn't it?
When Cell started singing, I about died laughing.
Well, considering that they basically consolidated a couple episodes into one, almost 3 episodes into one. It's
well, they've done in 60 episodes what took DBZ like 120?
Oh yeah. It's definitely still abridged. There will be an epilogue, and we don't know if there's going to be a DBZ Kai version, which is even more abridged. But
Blue Mr. Popo.
No, he's gone. He's been absorbed. But they did confirm they will do one more season of it.
Let me put it this way. The Cell Saga starts in episode 140 and doesn't end until episode 194.
And they've done everything up to the end of Cell Saga in 60 episodes. So that's pretty abridged. But it was definitely a fantastic send-off for that season. And they've also stated that they're going to change how they're doing things. Like for the last season, they're actually going to produce everything in advance and then say, okay, we're releasing episode blah on this day. And then they'll just keep going. So they're actually producing it like a season. which makes sense. I mean, they're taking on bigger projects and doing more stuff these days, even working with production companies. So, yeah, they're going to have to start organizing themselves better.
Wow. DBZ Kai, which is a much more abridged version of DBZ, it still took them 38 more episodes than DBZ abridged to finish the Cell Saga.
Well, most of Cell Saga was a lot of filler of them just arguing about who's going to fight who
and yelling at each other.
in the Cell games.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. Is like I'll jump in. Oh, let me watch a little DBZ. Literally, it's an entire episode of them arguing.
That's why you need to watch DBZ Kai
or abridged.
Oh,
well, yeah, I mean, abridged is hilarious, but Kai cuts a lot of that crap out. The only problem with that is it means we don't get Goku and Piccolo driving cars.
Move, bitch! Get out the way!
So Ryan Coogler is going to produce Space Jam 2.
Why? What are they going to do? They're going to try to drag Michael Jordan back onto the court?
Nope.
No, it's LeBron.
Wah, wah, wah. And you thought let's see, I'm trying to think, movie that bombed. It's going to be like Waterworld 2.
I thought Space Jam actually did rather well.
No, Space Jam did awesome, but but it was the novelty of Michael Jordan with the Looney Tunes. There's no novelty of LeBron James.
But I will say, from what I've seen from LeBron James, he's a better actor than Michael.
Probably. I think that's what some of the charm of Space Jam was, is just watching Michael not act. I don't know. I just don't know. You know what I forgot to completely talk about when we were talking about Netflix and streaming? Marvel's development and Disney's development of a Marvel streaming channel that will bring back two characters that haven't had that much screen time that people really like, being Loki and Scarlet Witch.
I thought Loki's had quite a bit of screen time.
Yeah, but they want to focus more on side characters, and those are two really good characters to start with. 6 to 8 episodes apiece, and grant them budgets that rival movies.
But doesn't that kind of basically mean that they're still not giving Black Widow a movie?
Yeah, in some ways, that's kind of a kick in the teeth to Black Widow and her fans, implying that she's a secondary character.
True.
And she's one of the main Avengers. Oh, speaking of Scarlett Johansson, aka Black Widow, I saw a terrible joke. So, it's been
Where
announced
are
that there's
her eyebrows in Infinity
Dude,
War?
let it go. She has eyebrows. Let it go. Anyway, Netflix has announced they're going to do a live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender, and people all instantly started jumping on that and saying, "Oh, they're going to totally whitewash this." Somebody responded to that with, "Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's already shaving her head for the part."
Ooh.
That's fantastic.
And not exactly fair to her, but, you know, if the shoe fits.
True.
I thought Ghost in the Shell was pretty good. I liked it.
I don't know why we would need a live-action version, though. I mean, they tried it with the film, and granted, they went poorly, but still. The animated version was fine. It was perfect.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Well, the showrunners are also the ones doing it, so... But I guess there was people who complained because they were also the ones who gave us Korra, and there's people who are not too happy about how Korra turned out overall. I think it was mostly in regards to, like, they created all these secondary characters and did nothing with them, like in the first season or something. I don't know. I haven't watched it, so
Everybody I know says Korra gets much better as it goes on.
That's what I'd heard. That it actually improved over the course of time. It's just that some of those characters that they tried to build up in the first seasons turned out that there wasn't anything to build on, and so they just went by the wayside, I guess.
Never watched it.
I've only seen a couple episodes of the first season.
I watched Avatar end to end, but I think I've seen like 3 episodes of Legend of Korra.
I thought Avatar, it didn't need to be added to. There was nothing. It was good the way it was.
Legend of Korra is about like the children and descendants of the people from the original series.
Exactly.
Yeah, and basically
there
the
must
whole
always
point of it,
be
and
an
it
Avatar.
also, well, yeah, there's always an Avatar, and it also shows how things have progressed, because I guess you could say that Korra is more kind of a steampunky-ish era. So it's a living, growing, changing world, which is kind of a nice touch. I guess they want to do 2 more series if they can, to basically do all 4 of the elements that's part of the Avatar cycle.
And honestly, Avatar, in a lot of ways, while it wrapped up the one plot of Fire Kingdom and everything, it still felt like it left us in the middle of the development, some of the characters. And the later comic books and then Legend of Korra fill in a lot more of the backstory we felt like we were missing.
Who were we missing?
People wanted to see where the characters were going, and it felt kind of just cut off.
Well, it was done.
And they could do the Pokemon route where they just keep going and going and going.
Yep, Ash is never going to win, ever.
Oh.
Well, he's always trying to, get them all.
Well, no, in Pokemon the series, he never wins the tournaments he enters. He always loses at the finals.
Yeah, they got to change the theme song to "I'm a loser, baby."
To be fair, he has caught them all the Tauros.
Well, that's the case. I would never catch him in Pokemon Go, so that's a lie.
That's a different universe.
Not really.
There's multiple universes.
Lies.
String theory.
Did you see the? I don't know if it's been debunked yet already. Was it the Yokudas that posted that on Facebook? That 2 scientists believe they have actually discovered an alternate universe.
I hadn't heard anything about that.
They were the science of it still kind of way over my head, but they think they have recorded the bumping of our universe into another.
I wonder how they could possibly prove that one, because in order to prove that's what happened, it has to be repeated.
Well, yeah, but that's what a lot of other scientists are saying. They're saying, I think the math is faulty. I think something is faulty there somewhere. A lot of people are calling them out on it. They posted it, and they actually, they wrote the paper and posted it in some big science thing, whatever. But the possibility of a alternate universe that resides outside of ours has been, I know it's been postulated before and put out there. It's like, oh, well, we'll see what happens. But
yeah, with string theory and quantum mechanics.
Yeah, but they think they've actually proven it now.
Well, quantum mechanics says there's only 11 alternate realities, while string theory says it could be unlimited.
Why would you limit it to 11 anyway? That doesn't make sense.
Don't forget, though, quantum mechanics can't handle observers that know quantum mechanics.
Well, the two theories don't mesh together. That's why they're trying to find what's called the unified theory, which bridges the two into one unified grand theory.
I think that it was right alongside, within the past, a couple of weeks, there's been that posting from, it always comes from the Star Trek side of fans and stuff. And then I think Doug Drexler posted another thing where some scientists from Europe, I do believe it was Europe, were claiming they have achieved superconduction at room temperatures.
Speaking of, what's with this picture of seeing William T. Riker, but Jonathan Frakes worked out and he looks slimmer.
Maybe he just worked out.
That he's people are postulating he's getting ready for a role because he's slimmed way the hell down and looks really good.
Admiral Riker.
Please, yes, we need it.
I don't even think we need a Picard series, but okay.
I don't care. I know I want something after Voyager. I don't care what it is.
I don't know. I'd like to have an Enterprise B series.
I would too. I'd like to see John Harriman, and then
that series will be here next Tuesday.
I want to see an Enterprise B series. I feel you on that.
Now, things that make my antenna go up with the Picard series being. Excuse me as I sneeze, and I had to let go of my button. The Picard series being put out there, and the timelines and all that kind of whatnot. And seeing as I have a certain tie to Star Trek set after The Next Generation, when John Van Sitter's posts...
Critters.
No, it's Sitters. There's no R in his name. From CBS posts that he had a meeting with Star Trek Online guys, and they throw a heck of a bash, and he showed all the food they had out there. And knowing that his role at CBS is not only marketing, but also all of the things that tie all the CBS Star Trek stuff together, it made me go, ooh, I wonder, what is he doing over at STO?
Eating lots of pie, apparently.
Yes. But maybe he was going, here, we need some of these designs for this new show, man.
Enterprise F.
Enterprise F. Please.
Dude, if they made it canon, I would literally jump up and down.
I would.
Well, isn't it technically soft canon at the moment?
It is. It is again, but with the Picard series coming out, it could get negated very quickly. Because as it was put to me, it is canon until it's not. And by that, they mean put on screen.
Unless, of course, they actually use it, because they own it.
They do own it. CBS owns the Enterprise F. So, it could actually make its way to the small screen.
Apparently, this came out yesterday and today that the Star Trek Next Generation cast has not been asked to return for the Picard series yet.
It sucks to be them.
Well, it's also very early. Come on.
Well, we already know that Brent Spiner would never come back.
Well, you said he couldn't play that role anyway. He's too old. He can't be that naive anymore, he said.
He can't play... He just looks too old. He couldn't play Data. They'd have to digitally de-age him, like, every episode.
Unless he came on for, an episode, like, once a season.
I don't know. Data looked already too old by the time they did Nemesis.
Yeah.
I know Rainn Wilson posted something implying Mudd will be back for season 2 of Discovery.
Ugh.
Yeah. You don't like Rainn Wilson?
No, I don't like the character that I don't like Harry Mudd being the tie to
what they've
TOS.
done to Mudd is weird. He's so... Unless he has an accident at some point that completely changes his personality, the Mudd we're seeing does not match the Mudd we've seen.
He's a bit more diabolical, evil-ish.
The Mudd we saw before was a coward who would never kill anybody.
He's afraid of his own wife. You rang. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, speaking of that, though, we've already seen the screen for Discovery on Stowe, because it's on Tribble. Date actually found it.
Really?
And, yep, and it actually looks pretty cool.
Interesting.
Let me go grab it.
Pokemon. Interesting. Give me a link so I can post it.
It is the posted.
Give me a second here. Give me a second here. Age of Discovery. I don't know. I still don't like that shit. I like the.
I don't think that's a very flattering angle for that ship.
No, it's not.
Just like there's certain angles for the D that make it look utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm still a little thrown off by how things are kind of together. Because, granted, we know TOS is old. That's been discussed ad nauseum. But Starbase 1 was established as a certain look, and what we see in that screenshot is supposed to be Starbase 1. And it looks almost nothing like the one that was before, which technically is after Discovery, because it's TOS.
It got better.
It's kind of coming to the conclusion that TOS is just going to be its own reality by itself. I mean, it's Prime, but it's not. And I'm sure that's going to really upset folks as they keep going with Discovery.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, if they had continued on with Enterprise with the next, with Season 5, I think that would have tied in better than what Discovery is doing.
Romulan War.
Yeah, because we would have had that. We would have had the secondary hull attached to the Enterprise NX.
The reason for the foundation of the Federation.
What, the Romulan War?
Yep.
Pretty much. They were building up to it, hell.
Yeah, technically, the last scene in Enterprise would have been after the Romulan War.
Yeah, they had planned that scene for a long time.
And then they shit all over it with Riker.
Well, that scene was supposed to have taken place after the Romulan War anyway, and technically it did. They just didn't show the Romulan War.
There's a meme floating around where they use images from the episode. What's it called? What's the name of the ship that Riker used to be on?
Titan? Oh, you mean before that, Pegasus?
The Pegasus, yeah, the Pegasus episode, where they have him go, I have to think about this, I'll be back. And they show him leave, and the other captain sitting there. Then they show him come back, and it's the shot from Enterprise. And he looks like 15 years older, and he's like, my God, what did they do to you? That was a lot of thinking. It aged you. Yeah.
You have no idea, man.
It's the holodeck. The holodeck adds about 15 years.
Yes. Such a slap in the face. That was such a slap in the face.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't a good send off.
No.
I mean, they had it all planned, and clearly
they should have let it end with the Terra Prime stuff. Those are some of the best episodes they did.
Honestly, would have been happier if they just actually gone with the, Season 5.
Well, yes, but
it was their baby.
I mean, it was actually, by that point in time, it'd come together pretty good.
Yeah, but Elizabeth's death is so sad.
Season 4 was probably the best season they had.
Oh, aside from the space Nazis.
Yeah, the not cool were alright. I was okay with it.
They were short-lived. What, 2 episodes? That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're also in Stowe, though.
That's fine. We kill them.
Twice.
We kill them repeatedly.
Star trekking across the universe. Sorry.
Better be.
But yeah, they could have ended with the Terra Prime stuff, and it would have been fine. I don't know. I think we can call it. We're basically running out of stuff again, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess a little short because we got things going on with with the storm in North Carolina.
I believe there's a Chucky reboot coming.
I'm sorry.
Didn't care for it in the first place. But then again, I'm not a horror film person, so it's not my thing.
Yeah, but they're not going to have Brad Dourif do the voice, so what's the point?
Aubrey Plaza's in it.
Okay.
I'll watch it. Anything with Aubrey Plaza, I'll watch.
I don't know. When's the new season of stuff start?
What's that?
When's the new season start for everything? I don't know. For just it usually it's like now, right? End of September, beginning of October.
We coming up, yeah. I mean, we think that the new season for Stowe will be maybe next couple weeks, maybe, or sometime in next month. Although we won't get Discovery until January, so.
You know what?
I
really
know
hoping.
Shield Agents of Shield doesn't come until summer 2019.
Yeah, because they have to tie it into Avengers.
A Chucky reboot? Is someone trying to justify casting of Summon Spectre as in the Flying Castle of Doom? I don't know, Firefly. I can't even follow that one.
I know it's not like extreme nerd related, but it is like space related. Holly Ridings has been named NASA's first female flight director. So,
Sorry, who?
Holly Ridings.
Yeah, but what is NASA doing right now? She's a flight
director for the Space Force.
Yeah, but I mean, she's a flight director for flight that doesn't happen.
Sure.
I mean, because honestly, what's the last thing that NASA put up?
They've been working with the SpaceX program.
Yeah, they worked with several different companies.
Yeah, they helped with the flight of that. They were part of that process.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but getting rid of the shuttle was just a big mistake.
Well,
the shuttle was old and outdated.
Getting rid of the outdated one, yes. But they should have been preparing new ones.
The idea of going backwards and using technology from the 60s, well, it worked before, and I was like, yeah, so did the shuttle.
But it's a legacy technology. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
That's how legacy tech works.
We had already proven that you can send people up and land without having to go in the ocean or use parachutes or all that kind of crap. They could have updated it. I mean, they knew this was going to happen. I mean, where was the development? Where was the NASA know-how? That's what I want. I mean, they mean, when you really think about it, I guess Space Force.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Coming from the future.
It will happen if other countries decide they need a Space Force too.
No.
Pew, 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 pew,
Everybody's too busy doing trade wars and blah, blah, whatever nonsense.
Isn't that a show on Discovery? Trade Wars.
Maybe?
I don't know.
There's Pawn Wars, Pawn Stars, whatever.
There's Naked and Afraid.
That's something completely different.
Isn't Pawn Stars over now that the old man died?
I don't know.
Sure, he's dead, Doc, but we've got an investment here. Prop him up and play tapes. All he has to do is call Chumley a dumbass, and that's all we need.
Let me see. Pawn Stars. It had 15 seasons.
Really?
Yeah, there was 15 seasons of Pawn Stars.
Wow.
And last one was June 27th of this year. Last episode.
You gotta remember, Adam, that's 15 seasons in 9 years. A lot of cable shows will run 2 seasons a year.
Mm-hmm. And with the advent of the streaming shows, the season is going to go. I mean, we've already seen it with Netflix. They just drop seasons of of shows, and it's like, hey, next season.
I don't know. They didn't hold back on what they were making. I mean, at their highest number of episodes, season 10, they had 47 episodes.
Woof.
Oh, no, sorry. 52 was season 9. The last 2 seasons, they had 30 episodes.
Mm.
The lowest number of seasons they had, or episodes they had, was 25, and that was the very first season.
I mean, let me put it this way. Dancing with the Stars premiered in June 2005, and they've done 27 seasons, supposedly.
Then there's The Simpsons, which just keeps going and going and going.
Speaking of, I know, once again, space related, astronomers have found a planet orbiting the star known as 40 Eridani A. And if anybody knows what that's from, it's from Star Trek, which is canonically the star around the planet Vulcan.
Great.
We have found the Vulcans.
And what are we going to do with them? Kill it! It's different.
Yep.
Hold my beer.
I'll shoot my shotgun at it.
Almost
That's one of the best. That's one of Enterprise's best beginnings.
where they open up and he just draws the shotgun and blasts them.
Kapow! Speaking of Kapow, the name of that ship was the Tapow. Yeah, we are really scraping at this point. But I'm calling last call.
And I was just trying to find if anything in regards to Pawn Stars. Doesn't say that it's ended or that it's got another season coming, so.
I got nothing.
Wolfie?
Oh, wait a minute. We do have something. We got to at least wrap up. We don't have Badger's top 5 movies.
Oh, this could take ages.
Top 5 movies or top 5 Star Trek movies?
Movies.
Catching you up. Last week was top 5 movies.
Yeah, and it's got to be the criteria is the craftsmanship, pacing, and storytelling. You know, what would you consider to be best films? It doesn't have to necessarily. Yeah, best great films, masterpieces, whatever.
Like ones I can watch over and over and over again and never get bored.
No, not even necessarily, because we had ones that we could only watch once that were still masterpieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
At the very least, give us one.
You should have started the night out like that.
We did. You didn't respond.
I know. Well, one of my favorite movies of all time is I'll give you at least 5 of them, but they won't be in any order.
Go ahead.
A Beautiful Mind was always one of my favorites.
That's a Ron Howard film, right?
Yes, with Russell Crowe playing. I just thought the storytelling was fantastic, and it really got me into other subjects of reading and everything. 'Cause I was huge into reading as a kid, and I discovered to pick up different books, and I decided, okay, what is this guy known for? What is this guy Kevin Nash known for? Or not Kevin Nash, Jesus.
I know what he's known for.
His Dr. Nash. What is he known for? And looking it up and everything like that, and it was just a really interesting to learn different aspects of different things at such a young age. And it was, I saw this movie when I was like maybe 13, 14, and I loved it. So, that to me is one of the best movies. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but Last Samurai, still one of my favorite movies of all time. I know it's Tom Cruise. He's generic. He's a basic bitch, but still a good movie. Probably, I think, one of his best performances of all time.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm not. I have not. I have no complaints so far with your top two or the two that you've said.
Let me look at my bookcase here. As I stare at all of SG-1 and Atlantis. Does that count?
No.
TV series.
Aww.
If we
Not
did
even a
TV
good
series, I was gonna say if we did TV series, it'd be a different story. We're just stick with films. Although you can include film series like Lord of the Rings.
Shit.
As a side note, Solo will be released on DVD September 25th. And Henry Cavill's still Superman. Sorry, Michael B. Jordan, you are not. There's nothing to support that.
I want to say The Martian, but after reading the book's better.
The book's always better.
Not always.
Arguably.
On the average, the book is better.
Just because there's, they could pace it better, put more details in, and it just, just
Badger,
works
we
out
can
better.
give you another week if you really want to go through it. Because, I mean, we did the whole show where we went through and the criteria that it had to hit and things like that. Where
I won't
it was
be
like
around
some
next
films.
Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, I'd have to say, I know it sounds funny, but 13 Assassins, it's an old...
Kurosawa film.
Yes, I love that movie.
Yeah,
You're
one of
noticing
the greatest fight scenes ever made.
I know. I'm sure you're noticing a trend here with all the Asian movies.
Oh no, Akira Kurosawa. The 13 Assassins is a great movie, and it belongs in a top 5. I don't know why I didn't think of it.
Actually, it's not Kurosawa.
It's not 13
It's not.
Assassins. Whose is it?
Directed by, I'm probably going to mangle the name. I'm going to try not to. Iichi Kudo.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I think 13 Assassins was Akira?
Because he did so many. That would be my guess. I mean, Kurosawa did do a lot. And he had probably quite a few of them around the same time period. We'll just take a quick look. Kurosawa. Yeah, he did a lot of films around the same time period. Like, from 1966 to apparently 98.
Are including Marvel movies? Or try counting?
Would you put any of them?
That's got, and again, the criteria is just that it has to be, good pacing. The crafting of it was good.
To me, the one that gives me chills up and down my spine every time I watch it is still the first Iron Man.
You're the only one who put a superhero film as one of their greats.
I was obsessed with Iron Man as a kid, and seeing that movie for the first time, I still to this day I get giddy thinking, oh shit, yeah, Iron Man's on. I'm gonna watch that.
You're thinking Seven Samurai, Adam.
Do what?
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh
Kurosawa.
Yeah, the Seven Samurai. Yeah.
Which became,
The Magnificent Seven, which is one of my...
Yes.
I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but it is one of my all-time favorite movies, probably.
Oh, that was a great shot. It was a terrible shot. What are you talking about? That guy had to be at least 50 yards away. I was aiming for the horse. Still my favorite line. But yeah, you're the only one who's put in a superhero film as what they would consider greats. So,
I mean, It did launch an entire franchise.
Sure.
It did launch 20 consecutive movies.
I don't think I'm certainly not knocking your choice. It's just interesting that you're the only one so far who's actually, included a superhero film.
Well, the reason why I like Iron Man is different than most people. Most people are like, "Ooh, it's a comic book." No, I liked it because, I mean, when it first came out, yes, that was the reason. But the more you look back at it, the more, and you delve into it, the more of an appreciation I have for it. Robert Downey Jr. went through hell his entire life, and some of that stuff he put himself through, and other times he didn't. And it was a real, comeback story of getting back into the acting gig and, turning his life around. And hearing about all that stuff, it really hit hard that, people can rise from, such a low spot in their life. I mean, he didn't come back, he didn't rise back up until he was like, what, in his 40s or 50s? And now
40s.
He's super popular again. And, it's just like Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley's always been good. He's always been good. But he didn't really, really become super popular until the last 10 years.
No.
He won an Oscar for Gandhi.
Yeah, that was within 10 years, wasn't it?
No,
that's like the
80 years
Maybe
ago.
my timing's horrible.
Schindler's List?
Yeah, he was good in Schindler's List.
20 years ago.
But
The problem
what
is
I'm saying
Ben Kingsley did have a major lull in his career where he took weird roles and stuff, but I don't think that was a lack of popularity so much as he just was doing whatever the hell he wanted to do.
Yeah. Gary Oldman's another one. He's more popular now than he was way back then. But at the same time, it's just, for some reason, when you look back at the struggles of that movie, of Iron Man, and what they did to try to get it going, I appreciate the movie a lot more with knowing the stuff that happened in the background.
Okay. It's 3.
That was 4.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. 13 Assassins, remember? It's the 5th one that we kept getting hung up on. Because there's so many that can fall into being number 5, and it just kind of bounced around a lot. And I honestly don't even remember all my choices now. Besides Lord of the Rings, that one I'm sticking to.
Give us something, Badger.
I'm thinking.
The hamster wheel's turning. Oh, wait. It hit a speed bump.
Give me 5 seconds. 1 second.
2, 3, 4.
I'm not sure. Were we supposed to just give him 1 second or 5 seconds? Or was he adding another second to that?
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Pen down, Badger.
Pen down.
This makes for some really intriguing audio. Something I can't edit.
All right. Unfortunately, it's a tie between Silence of the Lambs and The Crow.
Ooh. I honestly think The Crow, if you're going to put those two together, is probably the better film, even for its flaws.
Pacing was pretty good. Craftsmanship, it definitely was pretty solid.
Yeah, visually it was very interesting. Not that Silence of the Lambs wasn't.
I've never actually seen all Silence of the Lambs.
You're not missing much, honestly.
Then it probably wouldn't have rated well. If it doesn't resonate throughout, the whole film doesn't resonate, I would count that as not being a great film.
It's got moments.
Yeah, well, granted, a lot of films do have moments.
I have to say one honorable mention.
Go ahead.
A Knight's Tale.
Really?
I don't know why, but there's just a weird charm about it that I always liked.
Yeah, it's kind of got a Princess Bridey kind of thing going on, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it was good. Like I thought it was. It was kind of like a feel good olden day story, like a feel good medieval story that you don't normally see nowadays. Nowadays, it's all dark and gritty and whatever whatnot. But they kind of made it lighthearted, and it was kind of nice. It was refreshing.
Oh, let's see. We had Jarvis slash Vision. We had the Joker. We had the first king of
Robert Baratheon.
Game of Thrones. Yep, Robert Baratheon.
And Wash.
It did have quite the lineup there.
It's very interesting and eclectic grouping of films.
I didn't realize I had Letters to Iwo Jima.
I own it, but I've never watched it.
I own it too, and I haven't watched it. I feel we gotta do a thing at some point.
Wasn't it like a sister film to another film?
I didn't know Ken Watanabe was in that. I'm gonna have to set this aside and go watch that later.
Oh wait, which one did you get? Did you get the Japanese side or the American side?
Well, there's two films, aren't there?
Yes.
2 disc, yes.
And I don't know if it comes with it both or not.
Well, that being said, that was our last call on that one, I guess. I guess it comes out this week because I do want to. Tank, you follow the Star Wars comics, right?
Yeah, I just bought the ones that came out this week, actually.
Okay, well, when you finally get there, I'm going to read mine. I don't have them yet. I want to talk about it next week. I want to talk about the portrayal of Luke Skywalker. And
the sacred text.
It's just kind of odd. But I want to discuss it with you because I know you read the books. So we can talk about that next week. That's all I got. I think we're done for the night.
I don't really have anything myself. I mean, the last thing was but the Henry Cavill bit.
Yeah.
For next week, Tank, you must prepare an update on Transformers versus Star Trek.
Huh? Don't have that.
When does that come out?
Oh, you haven't been reading that?
I don't have it.
It hasn't come out yet.
I thought it had started.
No.
I thought it was October.
I think you're thinking the robots versus princesses, which is a thing, and number 2 did come out this week. As ridiculous as it is, yes, I did buy the second one. Just like, okay, I'm a little curious. I want to see where this is going, at least for issue 2. Oh, and I do have a last call, random thing, because I'm just that nerdy. I got curious about which sci-fi series has officially the largest starship. So, take a guess. Which ones do you think's got the largest one?
Starship Earth.
I thought it was Star Trek.
No, Star Trek doesn't even come close.
Well, with the alien probe, the whale probe.
It still doesn't come close.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What do you think is the actual biggest ship then?
Something from Hitchhiker's Guide, isn't it?
Well, I don't know about that. Okay, I'll narrow it down for you. Between Star Trek and Star Wars, who's got the biggest ship?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Wrong.
What?
The Voth Fortress ship is longer and deeper than the Supremacy. It's not wider.
That's what she said.
It was. What did I read? It was over 1,000 kilometers long for the Voth Fortress ship. The Supremacy is not. Yeah, 1,000 kilometers.
Wow.
And I can't quite figure out exactly how deep it is, but the Supremacy is something like 3,000 or 3 kilometers. And considering that a Borg cube is 3 kilometers by the edge, and it is tiny compared to the Voth Fortress ship.
I thought the Voth Fortress ship was like 9 kilometers and a Super Star Destroyer is like 19 kilometers.
Nope. I got hung up on that too. It was like, really? And checked, and yeah, it's something like 1,300 kilometers.
Well,
Ship's too big if I
this
walk the
article
movie.
on Medium has different numbers.
Say again?
This article I'm looking at on Medium has different numbers. It has
Yeah,
the
well,
Voth City ship at 9.8 kilometers. Lex
that's the
is...
city ship. That's not the fortress ship. The thing you attack in the breach is the Voth fortress ship. If you do the regular breach, you fight a city ship inside the fortress ship.
Oh, you're including Stowe.
What the fortress?
Well, it's considered soft canon right now. So yeah, I did
got a
include
point. It's considered soft canon, so... What about the... Would the Dyson Sphere be considered a spaceship?
it. I mean, they can move it. We saw them do it in Stowe, so...
Technically, it's moving in space.
Wouldn't it be one of the alien ships from Independence Day?
No.
Honestly, I thought the Supremacy was bigger just because, it's got the name and because Star Wars are we're going to show you who's got the biggest ship. We're going to be the Supreme ship. And
Wait, what about
right
what
here
about Star
is where
Killer
I
Base?
need a sound effect of a zipper opening.
Right? That said, though, I guess if we narrow down just to that which has been in film, then Star Wars wins. If you include the games and such, then Star Trek is
It's
technically in the lead.
if you include the movies only. If you do movies only, you're saying the Supremacy is still bigger than the whale probe?
I don't think they actually have the measurements for that.
Not the whale probe, the one from the motion picture.
The V'ger.
V'ger.
Yeah, I tried looking for some measurements on that. I didn't find any.
Medium swears it's 98 kilometers. But Star Wars still wins if you count the Death Star as a ship.
No, I wouldn't count the Death Star as a ship as a station.
But it does move.
It does move, but
according to Medium, the alien mothership from Independence Day is 800 kilometers.
And they were actually bigger in the second film.
Well, we're not going by Medium because we don't.
I always forget there's a second one.
I find it kind of funny that Medium is talking about things that are large.
Well, just a quick check on Memory Alpha for V'ger. They don't have it listed. I mean, it's there. They just don't have the lengths and whatnot. Even though we know it's massive.
That's what she said.
Seriously, anybody who just catches the last 5 minutes of this, it's nothing but innuendo left and right.
It's devolved.
We have devolved.
It was going to happen regardless.
Geek EZ, bigger, longer, and uncut.
Ow.
Good night, folks. Yeah. When does Animaniacs come back?
When does what?
Animaniacs on Netflix.
I don't know.
Netflix needs to bring back Futurama. Somebody needs to bring back Futurama.
No, they. As much as I agree with you, they finished it. It's done. Just
I know.
Let it die.
I just want to hear good news, everyone, one more time.
Good news, everyone.
Good news, everyone.
Well, you can in Disenchanted.
I've only watched the first episode, and it really didn't. It wasn't the same.
Of course, it's not the same. They're not trying to tell the same story. This is like Futurama had nothing to do with The Simpsons.
I know. And Futurama was always funnier than The Simpsons.
And this is pretty good too. This has got some really funny innuendo in it. I enjoy it.
Innuendo.
Innuendo. I actually really also enjoy Paradise PD on Netflix. If you haven't watched that yet, put your kids in a closet and watch that.
Okay.
It's fucked up.
There it is.
Yeah, derp.
Derp. All right, well, We will be back next week.
I thought we were already off the air.
No, we're not off the air. We're still on the air.
My bad.
That's why we have the rating thing in the beginning, saying it's for mature audiences because Badger's here.
For the record, V'ger's apparently they've never nailed down its actual size. Just the fact that it's huge.
Huge.
It wins by default.
It's the biggest. It's the best.
Believe me, it's the best, the biggest ever. No one will ever build it any bigger.
It's big, really big.
We're gonna make the space aliens pay for it.
Just like this hurricane was really wet when it comes to water.
All right. I'm going to say goodnight. You guys say goodnight.
Later.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
And Firefly, thanks for listening. Everybody else, thanks for listening. Because now you're out there. I know you are. And for some reason, you just keep coming back. And I don't know why. But thank you. And we're out.
So
Yeah,